You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Rope Break.
And family, is a happy 4th, Jean-Paul.
Happy 4th.
Real American is playing, and there's no better way to celebrate the independence of the greatest nation in the whole world, and that is being said by a person that wasn't even born in this country. But this country has given me more things in 13 years than my whole country did in my whole life. So I want to say thank you, America. You were the best nation, and you will be for the longest time, for the times to come, the greatest nation in the world. So we're happy, and that's why we're saying Hulk Hogan. And of course, it's the weekend, so Jean-Paul and I kind of we went to back to our roots, and we're going to be talking about the Broken Skull Sessions, right, Jean-Paul?
Yeah, Broken Skull Sessions. Mark Henry, glad that this series came back. It was kicking off, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like, so we're like, ooh, shit, like, are they going to do any more
interviews?
And then, I don't know if this one was done right when they opened things up, and now things are kind of closing down again, so who the hell knows what's going to happen? This might be the only episode we see for a little while, who knows? But, this was a good one. Mark Henry's one of those guys who he's really popular, but he's also like kind of under the radar as well. So we kind of got to see his backstory, hear from him. He's a great human being. All the guys on here have been really good, besides Goldberg. I think, all of them have been really good, like human beings. You could tell really genuine guys. Mark Henry was definitely one of them.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that. So thank you so much, family, for watching every single one of our videos. Thank you for all the support that you guys gave us, like in Fyre Fest, on AEW, like the first night of that.
Great American Bash.
Yeah, NXT Great American Bash. And yesterday, what did we do, Jean-Paul?
Are you ready? But it actually smelled pretty good. It wasn't complete bullshit.
Yeah,
like we said, AJ Styles, the Bro, Drew Gulak, John Morrison. How can, great matches. Shinsuke Nakamura, Kofi Kingston. But then we just got the Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, same thing. You're a drunk. It's like, okay.
And you can hear, like, already people are celebrating. So,
yeah.
For everybody, family. But like you said, don't forget to check out the Smackdown review. Great stuff.
Yep.
26 minutes of just pure entire segments of everything that happened, every little detail, moves, where are they going from the build up for Extreme Rules. So, don't forget to check that out. The link will be annotated right below. So, Jean-Paul, let's talk about a little bit about your impressions about this interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, or for the ones that are used to the Attitude Era days, Sexual Chocolate, Mark Henry. So what are your thoughts overall?
Well, I always like these because I would love listening to, kind of like these shoot-style interviews. Now, obviously, it's WWE, so they kind of script it a little bit. They won't let them say maybe, too crazy of stuff. But, these are always good. And I also love when we do interviews as well. Those doing interviews and listening to them is so fun. So I was excited for this for Mark Henry because you heard a lot of stuff about, even listening to his upbringing, how, that was rough. And he's like, once I found out that I was bigger and stronger than everybody, I kind of just beat everybody up all the time.
Yeah.
And his brother was, really studious, really smart. He's like, we were polar opposites.
Yeah.
Because he had, a learning disability. I don't know if he was dyslexic or what it was.
He was dyslexic, yes.
Yeah.
Because, he said that, he'll hear, what the teacher is saying, but he will write it in a different way.
Yeah, he flipped he'll flip it backwards and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll change the order of the words. Yeah, it's very cool. And like you said, Mark Henry at a really young age, his father passed away. There was a lot of code, so he had to learn the really rough way.
Yeah.
Survive. And he said, I really like a line that he says, Steve, early on in my life, I learned that, nobody's going to give me anything.
Mm-hmm.
I want it, I got to go get it. Nobody's going to hand me anything because of my beautiful face. And, that's a lesson that all of us will need to learn because our faces are not in the cover, people, or, or any kind of those magazines. So it's interesting, to learn that. And then, Jean-Paul, take me back to, the beginnings of Mark Henry because he was also, he said that he lost twice, 2 competitions, in a powerlifting. That was it. But, he went to the Olympics I don't think he
Oh
wins the
yeah,
title.
oh yeah. He said like, yeah, he only lost like a couple times, but he's like, I was young, but I won a lot. Like
Yeah.
I lost, but I also won a lot compared to
Yeah.
how much he won a lot more than he lost. So it's like that went to his head, and then he's like, yeah, I got the call, and
Yeah.
then he thought it was like a rib, so that was funny. I like that when because but Vince, from what they say, Vince is like used to that.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's
When he
true
calls
because a
people,
lot of people might not think that he's been.
yeah, they think it's like a joke. They're like, oh, okay, click, hang up. But it was actually him, and he called him and brought him in. And that's one of those things where I remember, just going back watching old Raw, you see when Mark Henry came out and he's has like the American jacket on and all that stuff. And he came out, it's like this big deal. And then it was like, so.
And like what happened, I can think that like what they were trying to do is they were trying to use like all the momentum that he had for the Olympics representing America.
Yeah.
Let's remember that the '96 Olympics were held in Atlanta, so they were held in the United States. So of course they got to do that. They wanted to cash in on all that momentum. And Mark Henry pretty much started out like main roster. Like he even says, there was no NXT, nothing.
Yeah.
Boom, you be with the boys. So like a lot of years, many years have to go by for him to kind of develop some type of character. The first stepping stone for Mark Henry, and that you've been watching the Attitude Era religiously, so you want to like stay with the times, Jean Paul. Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
That's the first step for Mark Henry to like kind of be a legit guy.
Yeah, to really prove himself. I think before that he
great.
said he was a driver for Yokozuna for like a year.
That was
something.
That was legit.
Yeah, so that was cool. He's like Yoko taught him more. He said that was like the defining moment of his career looking back. He's like not even being world heavyweight champion, none of that. It was driving Yokozuna. He's like everything was so legit. So that was cool. That's what I mean. That's why I really like these interviews because you would have never heard that, otherwise.
Exactly, and
it's really cool
learn
things.
from from the wrestlers themselves. You learn from them what is their best moments.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take for them to be like develop a character? You see the whole backstage story.
Oh
because
yeah.
The fact that they have Stone Cold Steve Austin right there, like they can trust him with everything because he went through probably the same struggles.
Exactly. And then, like you said, going into the Nation, I like that because he's like, Farouk, Ron Simmons is the only guy who he's scared of. And I love that story he told, like, he's sitting there and he's like, I'm just looking at him like, how would I do it? And I don't know if you've ever thought that, but I've thought that, sometimes if I'm somewhere, things maybe get a little crazy. If you're at the bar, some guy starts acting up, you look at him, you're like, okay, could I kick this guy's ass? Yeah. How would I do it? Okay, maybe I would do this. If he, you kind of plan it in your head. And Mark Henry's doing that to him and he's like, what are you doing? And then Mark Henry's like, huh? He's like, what are you finna try me? And he's like, no. He's like, I was just, admiring your build. And he said, I just said some bullshit.
Whatever bullshit came out from his head.
Yeah. But I mean,
the Nation of Domination, Jean Paul, was really cool because it helped all these guys. It held even it held the Godfather, although the Godfather was put in like the very same day, with no
debut,
with no like anything, no backstory. He's like, this is gonna be in the Nation.
The one thing I liked, and I'm sure a lot of other people liked, is how he put D'Lo Brown over. How he said D'Lo was the best worker out of all of them, and he's one of those guys who's severely underrated and underused. I would say.
Yeah, the Attitude Era up to like, I would say up to like the Draws incident. D'Lo was really, really considered really high up. He was a really good wrestler, and he got the lowdown, like a few moves.
And he had he had the gimmick. With his neck,
like ooh, like all the and all of that. Like D'Lo was legit. Yeah.
I loved him. Going back watching all the Attitude Era stuff. I mean, it's so legit.
Yeah, and D'Lo there, and all these guys, like say, they broke off from the group. And
the only thing which you're probably gonna this better than me was Owen Hart in the Nation when Mark Henry was in it or no? No. Okay, because he didn't talk.
They broke off. Yeah, but I mean. But the one thing is, like, see, all of them kind of, like, they broke apart and they kind of got, like, a little, like, singles run.
Yeah.
See, like, D'Lo had, The Rock, of course, broke off out of the most. And then, of course, Mark Henry, even Godfather, and Farouk. Farouk kind of went in his solo run, but then right away they paired up with Bradshaw, with JBL, and then they became the Acolytes at that point. They were not APA. They were the Acolytes. But, like you're right, Owen Hart came out towards the end, but, like, at that time, it was also the Boricuas. It was Savio Vega and a few more guys. And also we had the D-Generation X. So imagine, like, that is something that I think wrestling is lacking right now, is missing, having staples like that. 4 or 5 guys that, like, they can,
they kind of have that on it. They kind of have that on NXT with
Undisputed Era is the only one.
Yeah.
Undisputed Era is the only one. Because if you think
And
about it,
well, Escobar's guys.
like Legado del Fantasma is kind of starting like that. But see, in the one thing is like Escobar is kind of like the leader, so he's above the other two. So in kind of this kind of groups, it's kind of like they were all kind of equal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were seen as equal because, like, see, Farouk was kind of like the leader, but in the end, who became the most popular guy? The Rock.
Yeah, well, that's because they put the strap on the guy who's not even the leader. He had the Intercontinental Championship. Farouk's like, so.
Well, and that's how that's the beginnings of the end of the Nation of Domination. But like,
Yeah.
even like in the Rock, even Farouk told this story. He said that like he was the very first person that came out with like know your role and shut your mouth.
Yeah.
He was the one that said it because he said it to the Rock. He said, "Hey kid, because before you go here, like just remember, know your role and shut your mouth." And the Rock used it on the promo, and there you go.
And that's kind of what Mark Henry said. He's like, The Rock was one of those guys who everything, everywhere they were doing. He's like, we go out to eat. He'd be cutting a promo on me, cutting a promo on the waiter. He's like, dude, can I eat my dinner?
Yeah.
So like, that's what he said. Yeah, so exactly. It's like, can I live? You know. So that was probably the thing. Like you said, Farouk told them off, and he's like, ooh, I'm going to use that. And look at it. One of the most popular sayings of all time.
Yeah, it became one of the most popular sayings. But like I said, then Mark Henry was to Sexual Chocolate with the story with Mae Young. That was also like really cool. A lot of people loved it. I think that at that time it was really funny. And, you know, that gave Mark Henry kind of more of what? A character. Because at that time also he became kind of a European champion.
Oh, yeah.
And the European championship was a little bit like it had some kind of prestige. But
yeah.
Then, you know, going to this with Mae Young and the sleeping together, and you know,
and
when
hand.
like Anton, you'll hear like, and then you hear the Sexual Chocolate, and it was like a Hershey bar, but it was like Sexual Chocolate. You know, like that was really cool.
And everything with China too. I really like that storyline and everything. Yeah. And I love, you know, China. It's always good because like China was so legit. And then she does porn, you know, hey, people get into it, they do whatever. That's their choice. Yeah, he loves it, and that's their choice. And then, but people always boom, negative. And then, but I love now, you know, she's in the Hall of Fame with DX, and then people are saying good things about her. Mark Henry had nothing but good things to say. He's like, oh, she was a sweetheart. She was the kindest person you'll ever meet, blah, blah, blah. She always liked that fun laugh. So, like, I love that, you know, hearing about China.
Well, that was awesome you know, Jean-Paul, that, like, the only reason that China's career went downhill, and I'm sorry if anybody gets mad, but it's the truth. You know,
Triple H and Stephanie. Yeah.
That's all it is, because
China that's like a broken heart.
Yeah. Yeah. It was all because, like, see, her push was cut down short because of this situation. Of course, her contract expired, but they never offered to, like, renew it.
Yeah.
So it was mainly because, of course, Triple H and Stephanie, they already made it official. They were dating. So she pretty much was like the weakest link right there.
Yeah.
She was the leftover. So it's like, okay, bye. But like anybody, like you said, everybody that talks about China said like she was a sweetheart, really cool to work with. Jericho even said like at that time, nobody wanted to work with her. Not because she wasn't legit, but because it was a woman. It's like, are you going to lose to this woman? And Jericho was like, you know what? It's one of my favorite matches of all time when I wrestle her. Yeah. She was really cool. Like you said, she could do power bombs. She could do any single move. But like it was cool to kind of like transition to that, to Mark Henry. Then Jean-Paul Mark Henry kind of gets lost in the shuffle, OVW, and then he kind of comes back, and then he did the contest for the World's Strongest Man. He actually went and did it because a lot of guys in the muscle and fitness, like they were like kind of making fun of him.
Yeah, and I like this story.
He's the world's strongest man, and then he's not.
Yeah, I like that story because Vince is like, listen here, dude. He's like, we don't have a place for the second or the third strongest man. So if you go do this shit and you lose, like, you're pretty much done. Yeah. Whether that was a shoot or a work, he told him it. And Mark Henry was like, all right, fool, I'm going to win. And, you know, and he won. And it's like, you know, that's legit.
And he did. And then that was really great. And see, Jean-Paul, kind of like Mark Henry was trying, you know, 02, 03, 04, kind of like trying to get through. Nothing really happened. I can tell you, like, he was like mid-card, even lower, kind of like tag or anything. Nothing came down for him all the way up to like 2005, 2006. That's when he kind of like starts like the world's strongest man. That's when they started to pursuing that. And then he had a rivalry with Batista. He ends up injuring Batista. And then he gets injured with a match with Kurt Angle. Because that's his main, like his first championship opportunity is at the Royal Rumble 06. That's when like he challenges Kurt Angle for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that's when Mark Henry kind of like, you see, like he's a little bit going there. And then he gets one of his greatest rivalries is The Undertaker. That you saw yesterday when you saw WrestleMania 22 is because The Undertaker is about to become World Heavyweight Champion. He's about to pin Kurt Angle. But then, boom, Mark Henry shows up.
Yep, and that's when he like splashes him through the table and shit, right?
They're splashing him, and that starts the feud. That whole feud that like pretty much ends up in WrestleMania 22nd or 22, and that's when they have the casket match. But see, that's when like Mark Henry was like the first like kind of tryouts of the World's Strongest Man, the Hall of Pain. That's the first attempt, right there. And then of course, then like he goes kind of like he gets injured, also he gets sidelined. Remember the thing that they have when he's pushing like the car? And Tez is like driving. That was really cool, though. That was really
and then he said like he told him to stop because he was actually denting in the bumper, like his feet were going through it.
And then you see like Farouk is like, he's like, what the hell, man? Yeah. And then he goes and he turns the key off. So like you see all of that. So of course, Mark Henry, the power of this guy is he is legit one of the world's strongest men. And they say that, like the guy is like so nice outside, but if you get in his bad side,
if you piss him off, Yep.
If you don't believe us, go and ask Leo Rush because he had a little bit of controversy with Mark Henry.
Yeah.
It's true. So like John Paul after that, kind of like Mark Henry had a little bit of feuds right there, kind of more championship matches. But then 2011 is when he finally gets the biggest break. After that, the humiliation that like pretty much almost made him quit. Because like he was waiting for his contender in like a dark match on SmackDown, and nobody comes out. And it was Vince kind of poking fun at him. And then Mark Henry like kind of like
like he said his emotions when he's done, he's done.
Yeah. So it was really, and then he called Vince. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe you disrespected me like this after all this time that I've been working for you. I don't understand. I'm done." And Vince is like, "No. This was only to show you the type of intensity that you can have. That is in you, but you just gotta know how to channel that. How to like make sure that like you can produce the same amount of emotion on TV." And
they want him. Yeah, when he would get pissed, but they want him to do that as like a work. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can control it." Like, it sounds crazy. It almost sounds like a movie. Like, what do you mean you can't just fake being angry? But I guess not with him, because when he gets angry, it's like, look out.
Oh yeah. So like, and then finally they had this like Hall of Pain and everything. He started like to beat everybody. He beat Sheamus. He beat the Big Show. He beat like Kane. He beat a lot of the main guys. And then finally he gets like Night of Champions 2011 is when he finally gets a championship match against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship, and he finally gets his championship. The 11-year career, he finally gets his his prize for that. He becomes World Heavyweight Champion. And he deserves it. I will say when he was it was very believable. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's everybody when people say Mark Henry, people either think the Nation or they think the Hall of Pain.
Well, if you watch the Attitude Era, everybody till this
or
day,
Sexual Chocolate, Sexual Chocolate. Yeah, those are the three. I would say those are the three because you're like Sexual Chocolate is legit, because it's funny, it's Sexual Chocolate, and then it's like Nation is like, oh, that's kind of people think beginning. And then, like, what's the best is the Hall of Pain. For me, that's the best run. That's the most legit. He had it mentally. Like, he always had it physically. But then once he had it mentally, that's when, like, the Hall of Pain thing started, you could say.
No, it's true. And, like, see, that those attempts failed, Jean Paul, because, like, he had it. But then, 2 or 3 months beating everybody, right? And then, again, he will start losing to, like Adam Rose. He will end up losing to, like, anybody. I mean, anybody. Yeah. You and me go there, and, like, he'll get pinned by us. So that's why, like, the pushes were cut short. But in this situation, they actually cashed in. They went full throttle. They went all the way with this. He becomes finally, like, World Heavyweight Champion. And the run wasn't that bad. He feuded with Daniel Bryan for the beginning of that. And then he feuded with the Big Show. And the Big Show ends up getting the title from him. And then Daniel Bryan cashes in on the Big Show. He cashes in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And that was the end of it. But then he had a really nice rivalry with John Cena when he faked the retirement. That was really cool, too.
Oh, yeah, that was legit. People say that's like one of the best promos of all time.
Yeah, they do say that because he's like, oh, daddy's going to be home for my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's like, oh, crying. And then he grabs Cena, World's Strongest Lamb, and done. So, like, he did have a few, like, championship match opportunities after that. He feuded Brock Lesnar for a little bit. So, like, he feuded a lot of, like, the big guys. He feuded Rusev, on all of this. So like he feuded like a few like Roman Reigns a little bit, I believe. So like he did this, but like now his career kind of came to an end. Now he's part of the Hall of Fame. Do I really believe that Mark Henry is legit? Yeah. Yeah, he, the fact that he's been able to last all these years in WWE, that says a lot.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%. There's no way, and I'm pretty sure he's done wrestling. I can't even tell you the last match he wrestled.
Probably like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but like, everything he's proven, like, he's stuck it out the long haul. He's in so many, like we said, the Nation is, to me, they're a Hall of Fame faction. They should be in the Hall of Fame. He was a part of that. And they were just at the Hall of Pain and everything he's done and just stuff he's done afterwards, too. Helping guys who come into WWE, helping them learn everything he does, for his community and stuff. He's a Hall of Fame person. So.
Oh, yeah. He was a guest on Backstage also. And he got like that great interview with Keith Lee. That like he actually was saying that Keith Lee is the next big guy. Yeah. Because a lot of people are putting that pressure on Keith Lee, but Keith Lee is way better than all of those big guys that we're talking about. He's way better than Kane. He's way better than Mark Henry. Keith Lee, because like the execution of the moves, he can go on top and do all these moves.
Oh, yeah, and no offense, because, I love him. He's definitely in my top 3, but Undertaker's not going to do a Spanish fly.
Yeah.
Off the top rope. So, Keith Lee, for his size, he can go. Now, can Keith Lee... Can he go maybe like a half an hour match or something like The Undertaker, 40-minute match, whatever? That, I think he's done close, but, the one thing, though, I will say with Keith Lee is if he keeps doing that, his career won't be much longer.
Oh, yeah. So,
he's
like, that's even what did Bo say? It's like he still has a long way to go yet. Yep. Imagine that, and he's already over. Imagine that. I wonder, when they said that line, I wonder what they think that he lacks. What would you think?
For Keith Lee?
Yeah. Because he said they had both of them say he has a long way to go yet.
I don't know. I think he's a good promo. He's obviously he can work.
I don't know. Like I said, it would be cool to ask him what do you guys think? But going back to Mark Henry, he, the interview show a little bit of a side that we didn't know of him, and we know that he's really enjoyed his time in WWE. So that's really great, and he's now an ambassador, like you said, and he also helps out with he has his podcast, he talks about wrestling all over there too. So he's still living the dream. He's still supporting. He's still trying to help creating new stars. He probably has also his thoughts about everybody. He said he loves McIntyre, so that's something cool.
Oh yeah, that's what he said. He's when WWE, they lose a lot of guys, a crop of guys. He's they don't have the big shows, the Mark Henrys, the Shawn Michaels. He's we all left, and then guys got to mature and rise up. And he's Drew McIntyre was one of those guys who did that. So I don't know. Does he maybe think Seth Rollins, AJ Styles? Maybe he doesn't think all those guys are mature.
I don't.
And I'm not trying to shoot. I'm just saying. I'm just joking around here. But Drew McIntyre is I feel like the future. He's one of those guys, but Keith Lee's also the future.
Yeah.
Maybe just further down the line, but you got guys. I think Aleister Black is going to be one in a year from now. It's he's going to be, just as matured.
He's going to be in the next, the next tier.
Even Buddy Murphy too. I think once you break him off from Seth Rollins and push him as a babyface, same thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that he will be really good to for being the next generation of guys. I think that will be really great. Oh, absolutely. But closing thoughts on this, Jean Paul. World's strongest man, Mark Henry, Hall of Famer. Your best moment.
For Mark Henry? Just because I love the funny stuff, when Mae Young, in the hand and all this stuff, and China going on the dates. I love all the funny stuff. But probably the John Cena
the retirement speech. Yeah. That's absolutely wonderful. I love that. That's a really great moment. I love about. I will tell you my favorite moment from Mark Henry is actually. I want to say maybe the casket match because although it's a little sloppy, but the entrance and then how he's staring at the Undertaker. But that whole rivalry to me meant a lot.
Oh yeah, that was there was a legit moment where he's in the casket, Undertaker's hand, boom, shoots up. There's legit stuff in there. It was
kind of a 2-year rivalry because it started with the casket match, and like I said, it kind of died down a little bit. Then he comes back. Then, like I said, he has the thing on 07 when Edge cashes in, and then they had a final match on Unforgiven. So that's why my favorite, because throughout all this like build up for Unforgiven, Jean Paul, he kept coming every single week, Mark Henry, and cutting promos and shooting like, "Oh, Undertaker, you're done, you're done, you're done. Stop this. I'm gonna murder you. You know, like it's over for you, Dad,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Like there is no way you." And then they kept releasing promos like the ones from like Karrion Kross and Bray Wyatt, exactly alike. They will be, you know, they will see like a whole desert, and then you'll see Dead Valley, and then you'll see the hand popping up, and coming soon. So like this whole rivalry for me, that makes me so one even like Mark Henry even more.
Oh yeah. And he even said like Undertaker's one of everybody. Everybody says that anytime they work with Undertaker, you know, you learn so much. And that was probably one of Mark Henry's favorite rivalries. I'm sure he would tell you the same thing.
Oh yeah, like you know, like this Undertaker is just, you know, everything. But I mean, it's just so cool to like see that Mark Henry got a piece of that. He also was he was a guy that challenged the streak. So Jean Paul, I think this concludes our, you know, review on this interview. Absolutely great. Please check it out. You know, it's right there in the WWE Network. Like you said, like Jean Paul was mentioning, we don't know if there's going to be any more because
I hope
pandemic. So. Maybe like you said, they filmed this before everything started, or maybe right after. But now that like there's like 250,000 cases in Florida, so you never know what's going to happen. But Jean Paul, any closing thoughts on this?
No, besides like what you just said, I hope that there's more. I hope you can watch more. If not, I know they do, and I just noticed this before we started recording, so I'm going to go watch them. There are little bonus clips. They're only maybe a minute or two long, but it's stuff that's not in the actual episode. So I want to see if they have that for the previous episodes as well.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go check them out. But you can but when you're done checking those out, there's another place you can check out, and that's the Original Rope Break here on Facebook, the Original Rope Break on Instagram, OG Rope Break on Twitter, and of course, because I know that bellies are hungry, because, yeah, you may have had burgers and hot dogs, but now you're drinking some beer, and you need to eat some meat and potatoes right here on the Original Rope Break on YouTube.
To like go and like to help, like, you know, to have your like number two, you got like the meat and potatoes, and he's right. And see, the only podcast in the whole entire internet that has covered every single episode of the Broken Skull Sessions. You can dig in all of our video tag of our videos, all of it. You can check.
Check out our impressive library of videos.
Yep, all Undertaker all the way out here, through going through like the stuff with Goldberg, going with the stuff with like Big Show,
Bret Hart,
Kane. Every single episode we have covered right here. So, Jean Paul, you and me have one more thing left to say besides, hey, everybody, be safe, cautious, please, you know, like, keep the distance.
If you were drinking, which is a monster, not alcohol, but if you were drinking, please, you know, have a DD or, you know, sleep over, you know, be safe.
A DD or, like, if not, a DDT.
Yep, or Jake the Snake, DDT, and done.
So, Jean Paul, you know, you and me will be back for Monday Night Raw review, but before that, you know, thank you, everybody. So, enjoy your holiday, and Jean Paul, there's only one more thing that is left to say, and that is...